We had more time to train, two days in a row to train with the team. I think that can help us, even the environment. Of course, is a difficult moment because we are losing too many matches. We are going to face the best team this year. But like I said, with trainings, we feel more the team, we prepare more the team, and we want to improve the performance compared to the last game.
Like you say, Liverpool are in brilliant form at the moment. What gives you the belief that you can go there and get something this weekend?
Because in football, one game, anything can happen. If you talk about the season, almost every time the best win. But in the moment they are better than us. But we can win any game. But we have to focus not on the context, but on the performance. What we have to do, simple things, and I think we need to improve the simple things to play these kind of games. And we have the responsibility to play to win the game.
Well, we've got to talk about Manchester United because 5 defeats from 6 games leaves them in 14th spot going into this match, and they haven't won at Anfield in 9 years. Not only are they in trouble in terms of the table and in terms of their form, but contract situations at Manchester United as well. Harry Maguire signed a new one, but all the talk has been about Marcus Rashford, and after the Newcastle game, Joshua Zirkzee as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zirkzee, whatever about the performance, it's impossible not to feel sorry for him just on a human level, especially the way he came off. But it's another element that creates, I suppose, difficulty and noise around the club. Rashford, I mean, we've had several headlines this week. I was one of 5 journalists on Thursday that wrote that he turned down 3 very lucrative offers from the Saudi Pro League because if he is to leave Manchester United, he's made it clear he wants to go to a competitive club, which may be difficult because with the form he's been on the reported wages, and given that United would obviously want quite a high fee, there's currently not that many takers, which I suppose is a reflection of his own form. But yeah, it is incredible. We were saying there about Arne Slot, how composed he is, no matter what you throw at him, and how he makes everything feel like it's okay. To be fair to Amorim as well, given everything we've just been talking about, to watch him there and listen to him, you wouldn't think this is a guy who's overseeing, or at least is enduring, one of the worst spells in Manchester United's history, because he's still so calm and assertive. And that, okay, I know there's been questions about what all this form means for him, but I think that's exactly what Manchester United need right now. And it's almost like they've got to radiate the idea that they've just got to back this guy. It's going to be difficult because there's all sorts of issues at this club, not least, I suppose, the state of the current squad. But he's someone worth backing in terms of how you actually restructure it and what you do next.
Wild that Manchester United are closer to the relegation zone than they are to the top 4.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. There's 3 worse teams in them, to be fair. But no, it's not ideal. But I think he's calm because he knew what he was going into. It is a difficult situation. I think the thing with the manager, though, against the Newcastle game, since he's come in, he's been chopping and changing the team a lot. Now, whether it's been like a pre-season for him, he's trying to establish he can't play the same team because of their fitness. He's spoken a lot about that in his time since he's come in. But I was baffled by his team selection against Newcastle, that Newcastle outrun you. Their midfield absolutely dominate you. And he played a team that lacked mobility and then had to make that change so early on. And then Zirkzee is kind of, like you said, you feel for him because actually it was a tactical error. And this was one of the goals, again, crossing situations. And the whole 20-30 minutes tactically was completely wrong on his team. So that was probably the one thing I'd say. But he addressed it in his interview there. He knew they got dominated.
In that situation, as a former player, we can all see what Amorim's trying to do. Yeah. And it's a bit like Pep Guardiola in 2016-17 in his first kind of underwhelming season at City. He's putting the idea in place and was saying, right, no matter what, we stick with this. If you're a player, though, and even if you can see that this is what he wants and you realise, you understand the reasons why he's doing it, would it affect you to say, well, I know you're doing it, but it's just not working?
Well, yeah, you kind of, it's not working because you haven't got the players. His team, when he played at Sporting, again, it was different. They were physical, they were competed. The team I mentioned against Newcastle, Eriksen, they're not going to outrun the midfield of Newcastle, Joe Linton and Guimaraes, who will just power through you. So it's difficult, but like you see with Ange Postecoglou, like you see with Ruben, like if you compromise your philosophy, if you compromise your style, you compromise you as a human being. Now what the manager and the owners have to do is say, well, we've got to back this guy with that philosophy, and if we don't, you're going to struggle and suffer. So you can't ever compromise yourself. And as a player, you've got to jump on board. And if you're not in that, you'll probably find yourself off.
Yeah. The one thing I have to say about that is, I was thinking as you said it, it does feel like I don't overly criticise Ten Hag or absolve Amorim too much, but it does feel like the decision in the summer that the new club hierarchy made might have been one of the most costly in United in the post-Ferguson era, in the sense even though everyone knew Ten Hag was in trouble and they were likely to lose him during the season, they stuck with him. But they didn't just stick with him, they also committed to signings that he specifically wanted. As an example, De Ligt. And it does just feel like not only does that deny any new manager a pre-season and a chance to work, it also almost prolongs the period of being able to overhaul the squad, because that extra campaign with more money you've spent on players that don't necessarily fit, and it's even less of an opportunity to overhaul. And you can see why. You can see now why Amorim was initially insistent on maybe trying to stay at Sporting for the season.
Mm-hmm. And so with all that we've said about United, what can they go and do at Anfield?
I honestly don't think the way Liverpool are at the moment, even with Salah coming out, he will back that comment up, what he said. He isn't going to go quiet. He'll back himself. I can't see him getting a result. I honestly can't. From watching them at Newcastle, especially the first 30 minutes, if you start slowly against Liverpool, you're not coming back from that.